No offense, but if you have a story about where the word gringo came from, you are most likely wrong. You see, if you go to Mexico, you'll hear multiple different versions of a story about where the word gringo came from. But at the same time, if you're like me and you have traveled the world and spent extensive amount of time everywhere from Mexico all the way to Panama, all the way down to Argentina, you'll hear stories down there too that they're different and they're attached to when gringos were in Panama and when gringos were in Argentina, and they all have their own version. It's like a little wives' tale that just changes depending on the region of Latin America where you live. Everybody has their story. So that means that if there are hundreds of different stories all throughout Latin America, they're all different. It means that all of them are wrong except for one. So, what is the real origin of the word gringo? Well, most linguists agree that it most likely comes from the word griego, which means Greek person. But I will say this, nobody knows. That's just the general consensus among professional expert linguists, but that might be wrong. So, any of the hundreds of different versions could be right, but I do agree with other linguists when they say that it most likely comes from the word griego. It is the version that makes most sense. And so all these stories about, oh, when soldiers were in Mexico, when soldiers went to Panama, blah, 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 there's just no historical evidence that supports that. And griego, at being the origin word, makes most sense. But again, at the end of the day, we really don't know. So yeah, just don't spread stuff as being fact. If it's not an actual fact, just say, hey, it could be this, but it might be one of the other stories. Anyways, if you like this kind of stuff about Spanish, stick around.